The last satsang, we were doing the 23rd and the 24th verse. In the 23rd verse, we learned the concept of udasinavat, like one unconcerned, asinaha, seated like one unconcerned. So we understood that the concept of being unconcerned is the height of sattva. It can easily be mistaken to be tamas, as if you are careless or you disregard. We did discuss a few aspects there. I thought I should clarify further by putting a simple pointer. Give me a moment, please. So oh, yeah, I believe the concept of unconcern can be clarified through this simple understanding. What is that is really unconcerned as is the mind that is unconcerned to the happenings around you. Unconcerned means unaffected, not disturbed. So your mind remains in a space of equanimity, balance, which is a sattvic state. We are trying to describe sattva here. So your mind will remain unconcerned to the happenings around you only when your intellect is anchored or concerned with the higher. So to the extent, so it is inversely proportional. To the extent your intellect is attuned to the higher, to that extent you will be unconcerned to the lower. If I'm 20% concerned with the higher, I don't think it's inversely proportional. Can't say that, right? If a 20% concerned to the higher, you will be 80% concerned to the lower. It's not inversely proportional. Pardon me for that. But it's proportionate. If I'm 80% concerned to the higher, 20% I'm unconcerned to the lower. Now, today, we are highly concerned with whatever happens around us, what the world thinks about us, how the world evaluates us. Everything that is, we are so unnecessarily concerned, we are overwhelmed with the world because our intellect is not entirely lodged, anchored onto the higher. So while the body continues to perform our actions, the question is, where is your mind? Where is your intellect? That just clarifies the whole concept of being unconcerned. So your intellect is anchored onto the higher. The mind is dislodged from the lower, and your body merely performs karma, kevalam Elsewhere in the Gita, he says, Kevalam Shariram Karma. Your body just performs actions. Now, one can experience this, one can relate to this idea of to the extent you're there, to that extent you're not here. You know, we put this simple experiment, or can't even call it an experiment, a simple example. If I put my finger in front of my eyes, and if I lay my attention on the finger, for a moment, I'm only looking at my finger. When I look at my finger in front of me, very clear, the picture, the screen behind the finger is all blurred. I can see you all vaguely. I can't see clear images. But the moment I shift my attention to the screen onto you all, the finger right in front of me is blurred, is out of focus. Simple principle. So where is your focus? If your focus and attention is on the higher, the happenings in the world will be right in front of you, but will not be in focus. It will not blur your vision. But if your attention is completely caught up in it, it will blur your vision. You can't see the higher. So the question I got to ask and you got to ask is wherever my mind is it blurring my vision of the higher? Is it becoming an impediment to the higher? Is it becoming an impediment to my action itself? That's when you need to relook at this concept. So the theorem is intellect is attuned to the higher. Intellect is concerned all the time with the higher. The mind is unconcerned to the lower, and your body merely performs actions. Now, in the context, I'm going to share this in the chat box. I'm quoting the very famous excerpts from the poem The Village Preacher by the very famous Oliver Goldsmith. In the conclusion of the poem, he's describing the character, what is the caliber of that village preacher. He's a very sattvic man, a very spiritual man. He says, to them, his heart, his love, his griefs were given. To them, he talks of people in the beginning of the poem. He talks of a person who were discarded by the society, who were not wanted by the society, a spendthrift, a broken soldier, and so on, who were not, nobody could get anything from them, so nobody went to them. So those people who could not benefit him, they were his true friends. Today, who is your friend? Today, somebody is giving you a good business deal, you say, he's my friend. Some fellow who is some way helpful to me, he's my friend. If he's of no use to me, bye-bye. This is our transactional relationship. But his friends were of no use, were discarded by the society. This he picturizes in the beginning, and in the conclusion he says, to them his heart, his love, his griefs were given. Means his mind is very much engaged in the world. He had feeling for them, but all his serious thoughts had rest in heaven. So his mind is very much in the world, but his intellect is in the higher. And he compares the character or the personality of the village preacher to a tall cliff. As some tall cliff that lifts its awful form, swells from the vale, and midway leaps the storm. Though rounded breasts the rolling clouds are spread. When you look at a cliff, the cliff is tall, and the clouds and all the disturbances are only at the midway, the breast level. Eternal sunshine settles on its head. The top of the cliff is eternally exposed to the sunlight. So all the emotional disturbances, all the problems, all the turmoil are only at the midway level, and they never should disturb the sunshine or the intellectual sanity, because your intellect is eternally in the sunshine. his serious thoughts are rest in heaven. So whatever come may, we should ensure that your thoughts are always anchored on the higher. Only when you're anchored, in fact, even the ships, you call them anchor. They have these anchors that get anchored to the seabed. And when a ship is anchored, nothing can unsettle the ship. It is rooted. So beautiful, poetic. It's a poem by the famous Oliver Goldsmith, the village preacher. It's word by heart. To them his heart, his love, his griefs were given, but all his serious thoughts had rest in heaven. As a tall cliff that lifts its awful form, swells from the vales and midway leaves the storm. Though round its breast the rolling clouds are spread, eternal sunshine settles on its head. Beauty, beautiful. So you find pure Vedanta there. Now you come to how this concept is captured. I'm trying to explain the concept of being unconcerned. Now, when you look at a picture of any god or a goddess seated, have you seen any portrait of a god or a goddess seated, Harish?
Guruji, I've seen Lord Ganesha seated.
Okay, never mind. Good enough. What do you notice? Especially with their feet. As a thumb rule, all gods and goddesses, when they're seated, you have, with reference to the feet, what is common? There are many things common, but in the context, I'm drawing attention to this aspect.
To my recollection, they are sitting cross-legged. Or I don't know if I'm on the right track.
No, in fact, you find them only one leg is folded, only one foot is touching the ground. So one foot is folded, it's not touching the ground. What does it symbolize? All gods and goddesses, obviously, only God you will find who is doing that while standing is Nataraja, because he is standing in Vrikshasana. Vrikshasana is the posture where you take your foot and put it to the root of the thigh of the other leg. So your feet is placed on your thigh and you're standing on one leg. Only Lord Nataraja is standing with one leg. Otherwise, when all these gods and goddesses are standing, they are standing on both their feet. But when they are seated, all gods and goddesses have only one feet touching the ground. What does it mean? Is one aspect of their personality is very much involved in the world, which is to perform their dharma, to perform their duties. But one aspect of the personality is off. It's not caught up in the happenings. Where is it? It is lodged onto the higher. So just to convey that, they put 1 feet on the ground, 1 feet off it. Again, it's all symbolic. You've got to draw the implied meaning, and that's what we are doing. I hope that's the implied meaning. Now, one other aspect, thanks, Harish. One other aspect that clarifies this same aspect of Sattva is when you look at Lord Shiva, today being Shivratri, an auspicious occasion, perhaps to draw the symbolic meaning behind it. Jama, when you look at Lord Shiva, how do you see his eyes? So, everything you look at, they are symbolic, convey something. So what is conveyed when what is how are his eyes?
His eyes are half closed, half open.
His eyes are half closed, half open. What is the implication?
he is in the world and not in the world.
What is being in the world?
Unaffected by the world.
No. What is it? What would be the symbolic representation of saying being fully in the world with reference to the eyes? You're right.
Yeah, correct. If your eyes are wide open, that means you're involved with the world completely.
When would your eyes be wide open?
When you're awake and when you're in action.
When you're attracted with something
Okay.
interests you and fascinates you. Wow, isn't it?
Yes, good.
And the eyes fully open, almost glaring or staring at something, rather staring at something, that is nothing but rajas, where you're fully caught up and enamored by something in the world. You can't take your eyes off it, right?
Correct. Yes, good.
Tamas is
Completely closed.
when
Sleeping.
you're asleep, you're not in the world at all. Now, how to convey sattva to us? They had to put it in between. This is the beauty of the way they had to find ways and means. Otherwise, you will think, what happened to Lord Shiva? Maybe he had a little bit more of somras. You don't have any funny ideas like that. So, why his eyes are half closed, half open, which is what you said, which is?
He is into the world unaffected, and he's at the sattvic level at a higher level. Not unaffected.
He's in it, he's out of it.
Yeah.
Half closed symbolizes he's out of it, half open, he is still interested in it. Why is he interested in it? It is a dharma. I'm interested in something because I have an obligation. Otherwise, I have no interest in it. Why should I unnecessarily bind myself with the world? Okay, my neighbors have been there for X number of years. How am I interested in my neighbors? Should I be interested in their life, their priorities, their problems, their things? Should I be interested? What would you say? Are you interested in all the problems of what's happening in your everybody, a member of your colony or locality?
No.
Not interested. You're not going to knock, although you have been living in the locality for 30, 40, 50 years, you have known each other. You can't go into their lives and get unnecessarily caught up in their problems. Everybody has problems. Would you why wouldn't? Because you say, how am I interested in it? But wherever you are interested or show interest in is only where you are obliged to do so. Otherwise, you say, thank you very much. Like there was a discussion yesterday with Setuji on, as we were seated yesterday, he was mentioning about a particular invitation. I don't want to mention it. And my question to him was, are you attending? And he didn't even speak a word that facial expression said it all. No, I'm not going to be there. It means I am not obliged to be there. Not that I don't wish well, not that I don't mean well. I am not obliged to be there. As simple as that. If you have an obligation, you must go to great lengths to perform your dharma. So interest arises from where you're obliged to, isn't it, Jama?
Yes.
But while you are doing that, you must, and that is symbolized by half open. Half open is in Shiva was interested in whatever his dharma duties were, half open, but half closed is he is not interested at all. Why? His real interest is in the higher. And that sans Tamil, as they say, it's called Tungamal Tungi. He is sleeping yet not sleeping. He is in it yet out of it. So this concept of sattva is beautifully captured and heavily commented and clarified in various ways in the Shastras, whether be it Western literature, whether be it our Shastras, trying to convey us to cultivate the attitude of being unconcerned. Like a man unconcerned is to be sattva. I hope it clarifies that aspect of Those of you who just maybe logged in after I shared this, just for you to recapture again, I'm sharing this. So your intellect must always be concerned with the higher. To that extent, your mind will be unconcerned, unaffected with the lower, and this continues to happen while your body continues to perform your bounden duties. So duties have to be performed, but your mind should remain unaffected by the lower. It's a beautiful concept. It's not something out of, it's not something which is uh, mentioned once in a while. It is, the Shastras are actually pounding this thought. So it's not something which is uh, a rare concept, is very familiar. Okay, now, yes, Sureshji, in the world, out of the world, again, a famous example of a lotus leaf in water. Padma patramivam bhasaha, you're in it, you're out of it. That same thing. Now, I think we did start the 24th verse, right? Yeah. So in the 24th, we just share that verse, ma, please, for once. Yeah. Alike to joy and sorrow, samadukha, swastha, rooted in the self, to whom a clod of earth, stone and gold are same, to whom pleasant and unpleasant are same, the wise in singular, it's not in plural, the wise, to him much censure and praise are same. So, having explained the concept, now you will see when you are rooted in the higher, which is the self, you will find joy and sorrow will not make a difference to you. Pleasant and unpleasant are same to you. Censure and praise are same to you. Whether earth, stone, and gold. In the olden days, gold had no value. Yes, ma. Thank you. Whenever I talk of this, I'm reminded of a story my mother used to say. Oh, talking of her father days. I don't know whether they were gold merchants or what they were. You know, the beds had a solid base or to the sides, which were hollow. So father had put gold biscuits in all of the legs, and he forgot it. Forgotten that the whole each length of the bed frames were loaded with. When they were dismantling, they found gold. Dismantling the bed frame for some old bed got damaged. Dismantling, they found the gold. So my mother used to say gold used to be lying all over the house. They used to just go into the shop and pick up some gold to play. The sisters and all used to play. So she was the youngest in the family. So she say how her sisters and all, elder sister and all, they all amount of wealth they had seen. By the time it came to her, all the gumastas they call, no? Gumastas are the caretakers and all, they cheated her father and taken away all. He trusted everybody, and people literally uh, took abused his goodwill, and they lost everything. By the time she said, I came to my marriage, I hardly saw gold, any gold. So the gold, what I'm trying to say is the gold olden days had no value. I'm talking about my mother's parental side, my grandparents' side. You go back into history, gold had no value. What was the most valuable then, Ramji? You are the right person to answer. That's why I'm asking, not that you are my favorite. Somebody may say you are becoming my favorite, or he's my favorite, or you are my favorite. No favorites here. We can't hear you, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Yes, sir, but I don't know the answer to your question.
No. So I'm talking of, see, when he talks about a clod of earth, stone, and gold, I'm looking at from the ancient times vis-a-vis modern times.
Yeah.
The ancient times, whether you take it in that era or this era, it doesn't matter to you. So the olden days, I'm saying gold had no value.
Yeah.
Gold and stone, these diamonds and all, where our country was so rich, the whole world invaded us and they became rich and they're living at the cost of India. But
Correct.
we are not poor, having been looted by the world, but we are not poor. We are rich by the wisdom. That's the real wisdom that they can't loot. Foolish fellows, they only looted materiality, they didn't take our wisdom.
That can't
So
be
coming
taken
to
anyway.
that can't be taken anyway. Yeah, correct. Now the question is, why was the earth most valuable ancient days? Not gold. And it related to the industry you're in, sir. So I'm asking you.
Means the food.
You're a farmer's man, sir. So earth yielded vegetation, and India in particular was an agricultural land, and they worshipped earth.
Yeah.
So earth meant everything to them because cultivation, food, gold had no value for them.
We
Isn't it?
worship the trees and we worship the rivers and we worship the earth.
Earth. So if you take the ancient times, gold had no value, stone had relative value, and earth had maximum value. Now you take the same concept today, the earth relatively has lost its value, but gold has got so much value today.
Yeah.
Why? Because of the demand. What do you see? These huge mines, gold mines, they go deep into the bowels of the earth. They dig those huge areas where they find the gold ore, and they go through the process of carrying the ore out from those deep mines and then process it, and then you display it and say 1 gram gold is this much, and that everybody is running behind it. Whether you take the modern view or the ancient view, to a man who is rooted in the self, it has no meaning. No meaning, no value. That's what it means. To clod of earth, a very rare construction and a very beautiful construction, Samaloshthashma kanchanaha. So it doesn't matter times. It all means that it has no value to him. That's what it means.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I wanted to connect with you. Yes, sir. Something to say?
No, I was saying that the value, because the earth and the soil have lost their value, we have destroyed the earth by, putting plastic into it, by putting various things which actually contaminate the earth. And even our agriculture has become we put so much chemical into the earth. So there is a lot of, so that also shows that we don't have that respect for earth, which we have for gold, which we keep in bank lockers and then all that. So
True, sir. True, sir. Very true. Thank you, Ji. Yes, Suresh Ji.
While we are talking about this verse 23, I am reminded of this famous actor Rajinikanth, who in real life is actually steeped in Vedanta. And he is one of his very lesser known movies is a movie called Baba, in which this movie is actually inspired by the autobiography of a yogi. And there is a song, I'm only recapitulating the words of that song. Maya, Maya, Anta Maya, Chaya, Chaya, Anta Chaya, Patti Pattanattuga, Leni, Undi Lenattuga, తామర ఆకుల్లో నీరల్లే నువ్వు అంటి అంటక ఉండు. సంతోషి 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 నువ్వు సంతోషంలో తేలే సన్యాసి.
Can you please uplift others also in the classroom?
In fact, if I may be permitted to sing it in the tune in which it is given, Maya, 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 Anta Maya, Chaya, 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 Anta Chaya, Maya, 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 Anta Maya, Chaya, 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 Anta Chaya, Undi lenattuga, Patti pattanattuga, తామర ఆకుల్లో నీరల్లే నువ్వు అంటి అంటక ఉండు. సంతోషి 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 నువ్వు సంతోషంలో తేలే సన్యాసి. You are that eternal bliss.
Sir, please don't explain. We don't want to get dislodged from the joy and the mischief that you are. You know, you are Mr. Mischief, sir. We have given that title to you, Mr. Mischief. You are. I'm trying to explain unconcerned through Oliver Goldsmith of Lord Shiva, and then suddenly you bring Rajinikanth into the picture, and then you start.
That's true. All the truly great speak in the same tongue.
Correct, sir. Correct. You, first of all, I understand. You said, sir, with your permission, and before I gave permission, you start singing, sir. What is this? Thank you, Sureshji, for all that you bring to the floor. Huh? Thank you. Yeah, it is indeed the words are deeply meaningful. So it doesn't matter whether you're in yoga, whether you're in bhoga, you know, whether you're in the theater watching a movie, or whether you can be a spiritual satsang. If you can relate to
I must also share, Guruji, you will be very happy to hear this. Yesterday, I saw a movie called Euphoria, which I think is very, very relevant for today's parents who are extremely rich and who spoil their children with money. A movie made by a person called Gunashekar. I was so happy when in one of the scenes, the judge tells the mother, you have come to this court and kept your hands on the Bhagavad Gita. How I wish you parents, you share and advise and bring up your children steeped in the principles and teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. Then this country will be producing citizens who are responsible, enlightened, and this country will become truly great and realize its potential.
Very, very well said. We keep saying, sir, you know, Gita is used as a ceremonial textbook.
Unfortunate.
It has become only a ceremonial textbook
But I am happy that a Telugu movie, had this message for at least the small minority in the audience who would probably be influenced.
Fair enough, sir. Thank you, sir. So the bottom line of this context of the verses, which it will continue to the next verse as well, is how to remain unaffected by the pairs of opposites of the world, whether it could be joy or sorrow, something pleasant or unpleasant, censure or praise. In fact, it boils down to not identifying with it. If you really ask, one quality that needs to be enunciated or clarified is when that comes to you, don't identify with that moment of pleasantness or moment of joy, whether be it success or whether be it censure. Don't identify with it. So that it really boils down to your ability to non-identification with it. The moment you identify with it, immediately you will be subjected to what you're identifying. You become it, isn't it? The law of identification is as you identify, so you become. Whatever you think of, you become. So when you identify with praise or identify with sorrow or identify with profit or anything that comes to you, you instantly become it. So the message is don't identify with it. To the extent you don't identify, to that extent you are balanced. And that What measures your capacity to not identify? What measures it? Each of us have a certain capacity. What measures the capacity to not identify with it? Gayatri Ma, what decides it? Okay, hold on. Let me ask Venkatramji. Venkatramji, are you there, sir?
Hari Om Guruji, yes.
Yes, sir.
Related.
Did you get the question?
Yeah, I got the question. Will intellect help us to identify?
Can you repeat the question, sir? Sorry.
What helps us to identify whatever little,
No.
what
No.
will, yeah.
The question was, if you want to practice this quality of being unconcerned, it boils down to how do you practice it is where you don't identify with praise or censure or joy or pleasantness or unpleasantness, right?
Yes, yes,
You don't identify. So the ability to non-identify depends on what? It's a certain capacity we're talking about. So the capacity of non-identifying. To identify, you don't need a capacity.
yes,
Where somebody barks at you, somebody shouts at you, you will identify with it. Somebody insults you, you take it. That is no, you don't need any wisdom to identify. You need wisdom to non-identify.
yes.
So what is the capacity that measures your ability to non-identify?
Yeah, that is what I was trying to attempt. Is it about our capacity of intellect? How much of intellect we have in being unconcerned or not reacting to certain situations as they come across?
It is a quality of the intellect. You noted that little whiteboard on that we shared. You noted that, sir?
Yes, intellect concerned with the higher, mind is unconcerned with the lower, body performs one's duties.
Right. So the answer is then that the ability to be unconcerned depends on your intellect's status. What is the status quo? To what extent are you attuned to the higher? That determines.
Okay. Thank you.
So to the extent you are attuned to the higher, to the extent you identify with the higher, to that extent alone you will not identify with the lower.
Got it.
Right, sir?
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
But chat box is showing some detached and all. There are some chat box answers.
Sir, you must learn to be detached to the chat box.
Chat box.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Correct message. You must practice that. That is what I'm teaching you, and then you get attached to everything that comes there.
No, I'm
Huh?
not. So it is a good example to get detached from.
You thank you for diverting my attention there. That is what I'm only completely detached to the chat box. Don't worry. Lot of wisdom will flow there. You must be very careful what to take, what not to take.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
I'm joking, but what is said is right. Detachment is what it is nothing but detachment. In other words. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. This concept is beautifully clarified, with when Adi Shankaracharya was going with his disciples. He was walking. A drunkard comes and starts insulting the guru, insulting Adi Shankaracharya, and he left. He was very. He had some hidden agenda, so he vomited all his abuses at the guru. The students were furious, seeing their guru being insulted. The story goes, they walk away, and the next satsang, they all clarify with the guru that why didn't he tell them to teach that fellow a lesson? How could he behave like that? To which he almost reacted, unaware what they were referring to. To which he said, He gave what he wanted to give. You fellows received what was given. You deal with it. I did not receive what was given. I have no problem with it. So why are you identified with it? You deal with it. It all boils down to sorrow arises because of your unintelligent identification with the world. The world cannot bring about sorrow. It is your unintelligent identification with it. You go about doing your madness what you want. I am not interested in it. If you are jumping with something, why should I say I also jump with it with you? I am not. I don't. It doesn't mean anything to me. So don't identify. No problem. Ramji.
Now, in this context, like Suresh ji quoted a Tamil song or Telugu song, I wanted to quote also one song. Sir, there is this.
I don't know where we are going.
No, we are going in the right direction. We are going in the right direction only. Okay.
Right, sir, right. I don't know who is influencing, who is more influential in the classroom. That has become very evident now. Very evident it's become. Never mind. I'm a great admirer of Sureshji, so we'll carry on. Yes, sir, please. All
Yes,
floor is
sir.
all yours.
So there is a great Vaggayakara in Telugu called Annamacharya. You know Annamacharya.
Yep.
Annamacharya's kirtanas are full of philosophy. In fact, Brahma Mokkate, which is one of his most famous ones, is pure philosophy. So, day before yesterday evening, our Soumya Ma asked me, because yesterday was the Maladi Brothers concert. And Maladi Brothers have sung this song of Annamacharya on the YouTube, and she wanted to understand, because Telugu she didn't understand fully, she asked me to explain it to her.
Sir, I also have been enlightened by your wisdom, sir. So she shared your wisdom you sent to her about that song to me.
Oh, acha, she shared with you?
Yeah, I'm aware of it.
Oh, okay, you are aware of it.
No,
Okay,
but please mention to the classroom. Yeah.
So the song goes that Telisite mokshamu teleyakunna bandhamu kalavantedi batuku ghanuniki. That is the pallavi of that. That means if you realize it is moksha, if you don't realize it is attachment. That means
Bondage.
Bondage. So if you free yourself from bondage, you get moksham. That is what it basically says, that for ghanuniki, ghanudu means somebody who is elevated, who is evolved. For him, life is like a dream. But I never knew this song before. But when I was trying to explain it to her, I understood the greatness of this song really. So then, Anayamu Sukhamed Davala Dunkhamedadi Tanupai Nasaleni Tattvamantiki. Tattvamati is like you, a Vedanti. Okay, so for a Vedanti who has no interest in his body, what is joy and what is grief? There is no difference between the two. Onigite papamedi punyamedi karmamandu vanara phalamallani yogikine. If you are a yogi who has no interest in the karma phala, there is no difference between punya and papa. Okay, what is the difference between punya and papa? Then tagina yamurtamedi talapaga veshamedi tegi nirahariyena dhiruniki. So this word dhira, basically I try to figure it out. What does he mean by dhira? But I just thought that it is a brave person who does not eat. For somebody
Sir,
who has no interest.
Sorry, the word in the 24th verse, dhira is a wise.
Wise man. In fact, I just saw that,
Yeah, in the 24th verse, it is there, same.
There is dhira. So only when I saw my notes today morning when I opened the book, I understood that dhira means wise. Okay, so, but yesterday when I was translating for her, I didn't fully understand that. So I thought it's like somebody who has no interest in food. For him, there is no difference between amrit and poison. Okay, so for a viveki, it says that పరవారనగ వేరి బంధులనగ వేరి వెగటు ప్రపంచమెల్ల విడిచే వివేకికి. If you are a Viveki, who is a discriminating rational person, who has no interest in the world, who is a friend and who is a foe? There is no difference between a friend and foe for him, right? And finally he says that వేవేలు విధులందు వెరపేది మరుపేది దైవము నమ్మినట్టి ధన్యునికి. If you are believing in God, and you are an exalted person who believes in God, he has no fear or forgetfulness among thousands of duties he has to perform. That means you will perform your duties without fear or forgetting your duties. Then he says, of course, his normal signature is that he talks of Venkateshwara. Sri Venkateshwara చిత్తములో ఉన్నవాడు ఈవలేది ఆవలేది ఇతని దాసునికి. That I liked very much. He said, for you who is anchored in Lord Venkatesha, there is no difference between this and that. So this is what we say, that this is that. We say that there is no difference between this and that. I really loved that song. Well, I never knew about it. Thanks to her that she asked me to explain this. So I understood this song. So I thought I'll share it with all of you.
Thanks, Ramji. Yeah, there's so much. You need to have an eye, and you start seeing how so much philosophy in this, whether it's the bhakti or. But when people who sing, they don't intellectualize. I don't think anybody in the sabha would have scrutinized and analyzed and done the bhava of the song. They're just enjoying the raga. They're not into the beauty of the raga. They're not intellectualizing. So, but if you intellectualize, you lose the bhakti. When you get into bhakti, you don't get the meaning. But once you have the meaning and then sing, the depth is far greater depth you need to.
Well, Ramdas and Tyagaraja were more bhakti driven, but Annamacharya was more philosophy driven. So I think,
This is Annamacharya, right? This is?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Great. Thank you, Ramji.
Thank you, sir.
Looks like I have to little heed to the chat box because there is a serious demand for satsang through movies. May not be Telugu movies, but movies. So we will have Sureshji, you will anchor that. Before I say anything, he's already taken off. Please don't. I have to finish I am getting serious complaints that threatening me that how long will you take 14 chapter? Please allow me. Sureshji.
I will take exactly 30 seconds.
Granted.
You see, he is above the mind, body, and intellect. He is like the screen in the movie theater. Number of things are flashed on the screen. There is a raging fire. Somebody is giving trouble to the heroine, but the screen is unaffected by all that is going on. And therefore he is Udasina. He places himself above the body, mind, and intellect. And he watches this drama of the gunas around him like the screen in the movie theater, which is unconcerned with what is shown on the screen. It is through movies, so I thought I'll add this.
So what we should do is, we should do physical and then have a satsang later on. So we all should go to a movie theater soon. Why no? You please identify a good movie. We all will come with you. You will be our leader. Okay, wa?
As Ramji said, if at all we must see Sri Ramadasu. What a fantastic movie that is.
Oh, is it still bhakti there?
No, now it will be there on YouTube. But the way, the bhava and the bhakti is poured out by S.P. Balasubramaniam through Keeravani is something amazing in that movie.
Verse 25. मानापमानयोस्तुल्यः स्तुल्यो मित्रारिपक्षयोः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी Gunatita sa uchyate. Manapamanayostulyah tulyo mitrari pakshayoh sarvarambha parityagi gunatita sa uchyate. Mana apamana, alike in honor and dishonor. Mitrari pakshayo, apakshaya, alike to a mitra and a foe, a friend and a foe. Sarva arambha parityage, very beautiful quality, relinquishing all undertakings. He is said to have crossed over the gunas, the qualities. In the 21st verse, Arjuna asks, what is the conduct of a person who has crossed the gunas? And here in the 25th verse, he is answering the question, he is said to have crossed the gunas. Who is said to have crossed the gunas? One who is alike to honor and dishonor, one who is the same to a friend and a foe, one who has relinquished all undertakings. So this is the acid test. This could be the yardstick to measure your true spiritual evolution. You're same to honor and dishonor. Honor and dishonor implying an intellectual, internal fluctuations. Friend and a foe referring to external opposites. So whether the opposites can be internal or external, you remain alike. Tulyaha, you are equal. And then sarva arambha parityagi, relinquishing all undertakings. Now literally should not be misunderstood. This quality is misunderstood. You relinquish undertaking means tamas. Taking up undertaking with an arrogation that I have started it is rajas. Relinquishing an undertaking with the attitude of a kartritva bhavana is sattva. Don't worry, Harish, I'll repeat it. Relinquishing an undertaking, your expression said it all. Relinquishing an undertaking is tamas. In the name of spirituality, if you abandon any new undertaking, it's tamas. You should not relinquish. If something has to be started, please start. But if you relinquish, it's tamas. Taking an undertaking with the attitude that I have started it is rajas. Oh, I have started this ashram. I have done this. I have done that. That kind of a I in the doing is rajas. But relinquishing the egoistic notion that I have started while you may continue to undertake is sattva. So you will continue to do things, but what you have renounced is the kartritva bhavana. Kartritva, 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 which means doership attitude. There you go. So sarva arambha parityagi refers to renouncing the doership attitude in any undertaking. So what you're renouncing, what you're relinquishing is the egoistic notion, but not the undertaking. If something has to be done, please do it. You understand that nothing can be done on your own accord. So you accept that there has to be a totality that plays in anything that you do. So you surrender to the totality, surrender to providence, renounce your egoistic notion in it, the arrogating notion in it, that I am not the architect of everything. There is providence that is playing a role. So you play your part as humbly as possible by renouncing the I-ness. That is when you will be practicing the quality Sarvarambha Parityagi. And to the extent you practice Mana Apamana Tulyaha, Mitrari Pakshayo Tulyaha, Sarva Arambha Parityagi. When you practice these three qualities as mentioned in the verse, to the 100% you practice it, to that extent, then you have said to have crossed the gunas. Relative, to the extent you have achieved it, to that extent you are established in wisdom, to that extent you are spiritual. A true yardstick to measure your spiritual evolution. All right? 26. Mam cha yo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Mam cha yo vyabhichareena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. And he who serves me, M is in capital, serves me, me means the self, with unswerving yoga, avyabhicharena. Avyabhicharena means unswerving, bhakti yogena, yoga of devotion. A very unique construction. He who serves me with unswerving yoga of devotion, he, having duly crossed these gunas, is fit for becoming Brahman. Brahma bhuyaya kalpate is fit. Kalpate is fit to becoming Brahman. So he gives the quality that helps you to go beyond the gunas. Avyabhicharena, which means unswerving. Unswerving means unflinching, uncompromising, unprostituting, a sense of consistency. That's ability to keep doing things to a point of fault. Consistency is nothing but doing the same thing again and again. You don't have to do different things. Doing the same thing again and again, that consistency of purpose. For what? He says, consistency of purpose to serve me, he says. So every action, every perception, every emotion, every thought, everything that you do is dedicated to realizing the self. So that's what Mam Yaha Avyabhicharena. He who serves me unswervingly. That's what this phrase means. Bhakti Yogena. Why does he call bhakti? Why doesn't he say yoga of knowledge or yoga of karma? Why does he say serve me with yoga of devotion? A couple of satsangs back, Ramji did ask this question on faith. And here is again a mention that entire pursuit of the self or the Brahman is unknown, sir. And since it's an unknown path, you need to have enormous faith to pursue this journey. You must have faith in the text, faith in the Guru to pursue the unknown. Therefore, he says you must have that yoga of bhakti, bhakti yogena. So that full-time awareness, that consistent awareness, Remember the definition of prayer. Prayer, what is prayer? Vasantama, what is the definition of prayer, ma? Yeah.
Can't get the exact definition, but prayer is just thanking God, being grateful for all that He has given to us.
In the context, how would you? Yeah, prayer is an attitude of thankfulness or gratefulness. Now, in the context, how would you define prayer? What are we talking about?
We totally surrender to Him.
So we're not talking of surrender in this verse. We're talking
He who
about
serves me.
how do you serve him?
Unswerving.
Unswerving,
Consistent.
consistent, and devotion. We're talking about these two here. So taking these two, unswerving and devotion, I'm asking what would be the definition of prayer? Okay, when you pray, what are you doing? Whom are you thinking about? When you pray to Lord Shiva today, whom are you thinking? You're thinking of the Lord.
Lord Shiva.
So
And
there's a thought. Yeah.
you have Shraddha, you have that faith in Him that He will take care of everything.
Correct. So prayer is to think of what you're thinking of, the Lord, having faith in that prayer, thinking of the Lord, having faith in the Lord, and then you attach unswerving nature to it. Correct? Prayer is thought of the Lord, surrendering to the Lord, as you said, then bring in the context or concept of unswerving nature to that prayer. Now, if you take these three in the context of the verse, prayer is nothing but a full time awareness of the truth. It is not a part time, pastime activity. It's not that while you are in a prayer room or a puja or a ritual, you remember the Lord. Prayer is a full time awareness of the reality in everything that you do. And when one does that, what's happening? You're trying to fit into what the verse is saying. Unswerving devotion. When everything you are dedicating, devoting to the Lord. Isn't it?
That is consistent. All through you're consistent.
So 24 hours you're praying. Because every action is to the Lord. It's not I'm in the prayer room now praying. It's every time, whatever you do, you are thinking of the Lord.
You're aware when you of all your thoughts, whatever come, and
Every thought
only when you are aware of the reality, then you become aware of all what wrong thoughts come to you. Also, you become aware of it, and
correct. Good, ma. Thank you. Yeah, prayer. Concluding verse, please. I'm not rushing. If there's any clarification, anything to comment, please feel free. Okay. I'm not hard pressed to finish the text. This is the last verse of the text. I'm not hard pressed, but Brahmano hi pratisthaham amrutasya vyayasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukhasya ekantikasya cha Brahmano hi pratisthaham amrutasya vyayasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukhasya ekantikasya cha. For I am the abode of Brahman, immortal, immutable, eternal Dharma. Dharma means being and absolute bliss. Ekantikasya sukhasya. Absolute bliss. Ekantakasya sukhasya. Pratishtaham. Abode. I am the abode of Brahman. So, yes, ma'am. So, if you have the quality as mentioned in the previous mantra, if you have the unflinching devotion, then you would perhaps use these pointers of being Amrutam, Avyayam. Amrutam is immortal, Avyayam is immutable. You would use these pointers to reflect on Brahman. And one who does that, and he also calls that abode of Brahman as eternal dharma. Eternal dharma means, eternal means the principles, that which has never changed. You become the very principles of righteousness, the very truth. You become the supreme virtue. You become the dharma. Remember, why does he say, I am the abode of Brahman and not I am Brahman? Which is the same, right, sir? What is the difference? The abode of Brahman is Brahman. No? How different are they, Ramji?
Abode normally refers to a place where the person is there. Whereas all along, in all the things, whenever he said me, he meant that he is Brahman. Whereas here he is saying, I am the abode of Brahman. But he could have easily said, I am the Brahman.
Maybe he's tired
Normally
of saying
we say, sorry.
Maybe he's tired of saying the same thing. So he's putting it differently. I don't know. So perhaps when you say the abode, that abode is beyond the limitations. So imply that you have, and that abode is the Brahman, that's what I am. You know? So when he says I am the abode, it is perhaps to imply that it is beyond the body, beyond the mind, beyond the intellect.
Okay.
And that abode is immortal, is immutable, is supreme dharma. You could take it the same way, sir. You know.
Okay. I don't know what it. Maybe in Sanskrit it is.
Pratishtha. Pratishtha means abode.
Acha, pratishtha. Okay.
Brahmano hi pratisthaham. So I am the abode.
Okay.
Aham is I. Okay, ji.
Yeah.
Yes, Siddha ji. Thank you, ji.
Thank you, sir.
Maybe
Yes, sir.
you have reached the above, but you are yet to establish. The abode is the home.
That's where you belong, rather. No? That's where you. That's your true. You preside there. You exist there.
Forever.
You preside there. That's where you belong. You don't belong to this body, mind, intellect. That is your permanent address. That's your address, rather. Thanks, Ji. Eternal dharma. And then one who gets to that Brahman, he says, Akhanda Ananda. There is unbroken bliss. Akhanda Ananda is another context. Here he says Ekantikasya. Ekantikasya Sukhasya. So the absolute bliss, the true bliss is unbroken. Now our bliss is all the time broken. Bits and pieces, our bliss is bits and pieces. In a day, how many times our peace is there? How many times is intercepted with sorrow? So contrast to that, the bliss of Brahman is unbroken. I mean, nothing will come and dislodge you from that state of peace or bliss. Indeed, an extraordinary chapter, and it's been an extraordinary journey. ॐ तत्सत् इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासूपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे गुणत्रयविभागयोगो नाम चतुर्दशोऽध्यायः। As tradition, we will chant the first verse to remind that it's not the end, but it will be a humble beginning again. Shri Bhagavanuvacha param bhuya pravakshyami jnananam jnanamuttamam yajñātvā munaya sarve param siddhimito gataha. May all of us be blessed and showered with this wisdom. So we'll come back next week and we shall embark on yet another chapter continuing with the text. It will be the 15th chapter, Purushottama Yoga, Purusha Uttama Yoga, a very short chapter of 20 verses. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.